Hello everyone, and welcome to our MEC251 Robotics 1 class. In this video I'm going to give a brief introduction of the class and go through a little bit of the course materials, the syllabus, and what the schedule is going to look like for the class for this term. So here on our MyMHCC course website, the beginning page is going to be a news and announcements page, as you can see here. And I'll get to this announcement here in a bit. First I want to go to the syllabus. So clicking the syllabus, bringing that up. For this course, we're going to be focused on the FANUC robotics system. So we'll be learning about teach-pendant programming, inputs and output handling, system backups, mastering, error handling on the FANUC robots. As far as my instructor information, that's the same as it's always been. The phone number that shows there is my office phone, and so I'll include on the news and announcement on the web on our course website my Google number that you can use to reach me on my cell phone if you'd like. As far as office hours go, it's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. So you can reach me either that as an open office time or through a virtual appointment if we're connecting over Zoom. On Monday and Tuesday, I'll be on campus. So that would be a time when you would need to make an appointment so I know to connect with you on the Zoom app. Or on Wednesdays, I'll be at home doing this class, and so there I'll be online or on Zoom, and you can connect with me then. Monday through Wednesday, it's 7 to 8 a.m. That is going to be by appointment, so you can reach me through making an appointment with me, and we'll meet earlier in the morning. As far as this class goes, it's a 3-credit class shown here. And in our textbooks and materials, we have a textbooks that we need to purchase. So here's the book that you'll be purchasing from the bookstore. It's provided by FANUC. And so as you go into the textbook, there's tabs here on the right that'll give you your different chapters. And really for these first 3 chapters, we just go through you're welcome to review through those. It has some good content in there, especially about safety when operating an actual robot. Some things you'd want to consider. A pretest, which you could go through, that's going to be a good review when we get ready to do the final exam. And then here in each of the chapters that we'll be studying, you'll notice towards the end here there are some quiz questions. And now these are the same quiz questions for the most part that will be on the online quiz. So I'm not trying to trick you, and there might be some questions that I have added in, but for the most part, they're just the same questions that are here provided. So you can make sure to use a good study of that. For the most part, towards the end of the chapter is where the labs are located. You'll find some chapters that have the labs intermixed or mixed in the middle of the chapter. But as you go through them, it'll be titled here with Lab 1, and that'll correspond to what's on our course schedule. And then it'll give you a set of instructions to go through, and then again you can just, you'll be doing that in an online or a virtual environment, and then I'll just ask that you demonstrate that for me during our assessments. Leading up to that is just going to be a bunch of different information that you can read through, and then I also supplement that via what I do online. So I follow along with what I would normally present in class. So using both of those resources is a good way to really understand and learn the material. So you've also received access to the FANUC simulation software, and so this is going to be required in order to be able to go through the labs in the book, as well as through the discussions and assessments that we'll be doing during the course. There will be a final exam for this course that's going to be through a third-party source. That means that the exam itself will be proctored, and we'll probably be taking that through the testing center on campus. I'm still working through the details on that, so more information will be forthcoming. And down at the bottom is some COVID-related information, and even though this class is an online/remote course, I am hoping that at some point in time we'll be able to come onto campus so that you can get your hands on a real robot and be able to move it around, do some programming, and get familiar with a teach pendant in your hands. Let's go back to our course website and let's go through the coursework page. So the coursework page, I broke that up into units based on the day in which we will be meeting. So these are the Wednesdays in which we'll be meeting for the assessment. So here you'll see the different quizzes that will be due that day. Again, like a lot of the classes we've done so far, they'll be due at 8 a.m. on that morning, the morning of the assessment. So here we've got chapters 4 through 9 that all have quizzes pertaining to those chapters. Again, each of those quiz questions, for the most part, are printed in the book, so you can look those up beforehand before taking the actual quiz. Then we also have in our lab assignments, so each of those chapters have a lab or labs associated with them. To give you a little bit of information, I've given you what I'm going to be looking for in the assessment. And you'll notice that not all labs are included. The majority of them are, but not all labs are going to be included in the assessment. However, I would highly recommend that you still go through those labs so that you're familiar with them. It'll just help you in understanding how the robot functions as a whole. And then additionally, there will be a participation assignment or grade for that day. That means being on a time to your assessment, being prepared for this assessment, and being respectful during our time working with each other. Is here at the introduction, there is an announcement that shows the work cell that you would be using for this particular set of labs. And what I mean by the work cell is as you open up RoboGuide, you have the option of loading a work cell instead of creating one from scratch. So here I've created the work cell, so that includes the robot, how the robot is configured, anything else in its environment that's needed. So you can bring that cell load that into the robotic environment or into RoboGuide and be able to then interact with it without having to create it from scratch. So pay attention to those links that are at the beginning of the assignment page. So now going back to the news and announcements page. So this page is the default page that will come up as you access the MyMHCC webpage. And notice here that I've started out with showing a link to the assessment schedule that we'll have on Wednesdays. So by clicking on this link, it'll bring up our assessment schedule. I've already gone ahead and populated it based on alphabetical order as it shows in our roster for the class. So if you want to change your time, if you realize that you're more of a morning person, not an afternoon person, or vice versa, and you would like to switch that time, I would recommend just getting a hold of somebody in the class, emailing them, and then asking them if they would be okay to switch that time. And so we'll start at 8 a.m., and that will give me 20 minutes with each of you to go through the assignment for that page. And there's a lot of ground to cover. So again, please come prepared for that lab. And if you are having any questions with that lab, reach out to me during our office hours so that we have a chance to address that. Okay, so now I'd like to go through a little bit on the Handling Pro when you open up the program. If I click on the Handling Pro icon, it'll bring up something like this on your screen. Now, since you probably don't have a lot of work cells available yet to use, yours won't look populated quite like this. But as you bring up a cell that you're going to be able to load, I'm going to just pick an arbitrary one. We'll pick this one. If I click on that, it's going to go ahead and load that work cell environment. So you'll see over here we've got a number of icons that we can use when interacting with the robot. We've got a menu ribbon up here at the top, right, that allows us to interact with in some different ways. Once you're done interacting with the program, you're going to want to just go over here and you can do a save the cell or you can do a save as. Okay? And then it'll also show here your more recent files that you've used. So very much like any Windows-based program. Okay, so that's it for our introduction. I hope that's answered any questions that maybe you have. If not, please feel free to email me or post something on our class webpage if you want to include that for everyone else. One thing I did fail to mention is I'm thinking of having a Friday info session. So this would be something that I would do from 8 to 9 Friday mornings. That will give everyone an opportunity to log in via Zoom and ask some general questions and something that I could go ahead and record and then make available if anyone wasn't able to attend, that they can then review what was asked. And so that'll give you a chance to ask some questions ahead of the assessment the following week. Since most of what we're going to be doing in class is going to be via YouTube videos, and I'll be including those links on those assignment pages in the MyMHCC, so you can access those videos, and which will be, for the most part, a representation of what my lectures would be like. Okay? And so that should help guide you through a lot of what you'll be doing in the labs, but just in case you have some additional questions or struggling with something, we can use that Friday time as a way to address any general questions. All right, well, thank you, everyone. I look forward to working with you. Bye.